What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and I am joined. I was about to forget to say it because it's been so long, but I'm joined by my brother, by the person y'all all know, man. My guy Brandon, Shaky B. Brandon, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just excited to get this mock draft series up and running again. It's the off season. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we have free agency. We got who we're going to re-sign, who we think we're going to sign, who we're going to draft. We have a lot to go on, and it's exciting, to be honest.
Definitely. Now, if you can't tell, check out my man's shirt game. You know what I'm saying? Rocking the Philly merch. I love it. But a lot has been going on for you, Brandon. I know a lot outside of, football and sports in general, and obviously Philly. A lot has happened for you. So congratulations, first of all, on everything, obviously, with the new child, doing your job and everything. So it's awesome to have you back. I'm glad you had time. But this is kind of your baby here as well, right? The mock draft is kind of your baby as well. So last year, for those that don't know, we did do a 32 team mock draft, all 32 picks in the first round. We're going to do the same thing again this year. This right now is live on Twitter and Facebook. It is not live on YouTube unless you are a member. So feel special on Twitter and Facebook. But this year, what we're going to do is a little bit different. We're basically getting all five, and we're going to do it 5 at a time. Obviously had some really, really cool guests. I don't know how else other to really get into this other than getting into it. First of all, before we do get into this, how did you feel reaching out to these people? How different was it from last year now that we're doing this little short thing? You know what I'm saying? How different was it for you, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year's a little easier in a sense. Like, you feel more comfortable. You know what you're doing. Last year was kind of just like, dang, are people really going to respond? Who am I going to reach out to? Are they just going to think this is like a silly idea, or just like, who's this Philly the podcast? And having that, just the support last year, and able to get all 32 different people from across the country to join us on Philly the podcast in some kind of capacity, if it was us talking to them directly on a live or getting the clips like how we're going to do this year. It's just amazing. And then to be able to use that as an example for this year, some people are going to be reoccurring from last year. They went ahead and they were open to it, and there's going to be some new people. So it's exciting to get to know new people and be able to build those connections so we can talk with them throughout the season when the Eagles go ahead and either beat them at home or beat them at their home.
Exactly. Yeah, that was probably the best part about last year, is being able to kind of go back to those people and brag a little bit, right? But so like you said, this year we do have some recurring faces, but we do have some very, very cool new guests. Today we're going to be doing pick 1 through 5. So we were able to get some great reporters, some great YouTube content creators, and a guy that used to actually play for the team he's representing. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. You ready, Brandon?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
What's going on with it, guys? This is UCF Jaguar, host of the largest Jaguars channel on YouTube, and I am out here to once again kick off the NFL draft. In 2021, the Jaguars had the number 1 pick, and we were celebrating it. Trevor Lawrence coming to Jacksonville. This year, the Jaguars had the number 1 pick, and it's kind of like, whoops. So Jaguars have a lot of options here. The big thing that's coming up is that left tackle Cam Robinson is a free agent. So the options are, do we want to sign him to a pretty big deal because Cam Robinson is a top left tackle. He's a very good left tackle. Or do we want to potentially upgrade and also take on a cheaper contract with Evan Neal? And with that said, I will elect to do that option. I, as a Jaguars representative, take left tackle Evan Neal at number 1. Go Jags.
All right, so coming off the board first, I don't think it's really much of a surprise to either of us, if I'm being 100% honest. Probably not much of a surprise to people out there, but Evan Neal, obviously a road grader at that left tackle position for Alabama. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I mean, this year is kind of different, right? Like, I feel like in years past, there was a solidified number 1. Everyone knew who was going number 1. If it was like Myles Garrett or Trevor Lawrence last year, like everyone knew Trevor Lawrence was going number 1. There's no doubt about it. This year, it could honestly go either way. Like, it could go, the Jags have their options, right? It could be Evan Neal, like how he just picked now. It could be Icky. It could be Aiden Hutchinson. It could be literally just like one of 4 guys that could go number 1. But with drafting Trevor Lawrence, and I feel like they missed on their second first-round pick last year. I mean, maybe Travis Etienne, maybe he's going to be something. But they didn't need another running back. They needed to get some other positions. They could even drafted some of the second-round guys that killed it this year, like Asante Samuel Jr. or something. But they missed out on that, so they do need to solidify and protect Trevor Lawrence because that's the only way he's going to play good down in Jacksonville. So grabbing a guy, a freak athlete, I don't know if you've seen him at the podium recently. He doesn't look his weight. He looks like he might be just straight muscle mass. And kind of like a Brandon Brooks type of figure where, like, he weighs a lot, but he looks like he's in shape. I was listening yesterday. There were some concerns that, like, in high school, he weighed like 390. So there might be some weight concerns that if he gets new money and wants to try out new restaurants and stuff, that might be different. But the way he was looking, I don't know. I think maybe he's going to be focused. I mean, you can't – that's just like nitpicking a little bit from these guys. But that's a great pick in my opinion.
Yeah, we don't want no Zion Williamson, things happening out there. I mean, Jacksonville, I will say, I love Jacksonville. As you know, I used to live in Jacksonville for a while. So that gator tail ain't no joke. Once you hit that gator, they fry everything in Jacksonville. So, but no, and we have a little connection, right? Obviously, Dougie P's now over there in Jacksonville. So this seems like a real Doug Peterson pick. I mean, Doug Peterson has been the guy that wants to win now, right? He's not, the kind of the sword in the back, I guess you can say, for the Philadelphia Eagles departure was that he didn't really want to develop the young guys. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the young players on the Jaguars, but it also will be interesting to see how much he can get out of these players. And I think that what you said is perfectly true. You want to go ahead and protect your main asset. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is that guy, and hopefully he brings a little bit more out of the running game when you do have a solid bookend like him. So, Evan Neal, a great pick. Obviously, shout out to my guy, UCF Jaguar, he's killing it out there. We did have him last year. He's absolutely killing it out there. So if you're watching this, shout out to you. We appreciate you. And we're going to have to get you on the show to talk a little bit about Doug EP. But let's get into this second pick. So before we get into the second pick, quick grade. How would you grade that pick?
Oh, that's an A right there. You can't go wrong. I mean, you're solidifying the offensive line. You're adding a valuable piece, and he's a freak athlete. And, I mean, he's played pretty much all throughout the line at Alabama. And I think one of the stats was that he's played like 1,000 snaps and has let up like 2 sacks and had like 1 penalty. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, Derek Barnett would never. But all right, so we're gonna get into the second pick now. We're getting into the Detroit Lions. So I try to put
everywhere. This is for you.
Flying, you on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, really time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.